and be with Krishna. So how do we do that? We have to purify our hearts, purify our mind, purify our intelligence. And to do that, we have to purify our desire. Our desire has to be not to serve myself, not to please myself, but to serve Krishna and please Krishna. And as soon as we take up that desire, then everything falls into place automatically. That's the highest level that we can operate on, is the level of desire. And that is the province of the soul. That is the function of the soul, the will. We all have free will. We can all decide what to desire. So if we desire, I want to serve Krishna, I want to love Krishna, Krishna will reveal how to do that. And when we desire, I just want to chant the holy name, I just want to become purified, then Krishna will supply the means to attain that desire. That's his business. He's our friend. He's our lover. He loves us so much that even if we desire to be separate from him, he gives us that too. But that's a very bad desire because it leads to all kinds of suffering. Why do we want that? No. More intelligent is to desire his service and his pleasure, and then he automatically gives the means to that. So when we desire like that, we want to chant his name with love and devotion 24 hours a day. And when we do that, automatically all the offenses are vanquished. Automatically all the sinful activities stop. They just fall away. We don't have to do anything separate to make them go away. We don't have to do anything separate to purify ourselves or remove the sinful desire seed in our heart, because the holy name does that automatically when we chant without stopping. When we chant 24 hours a day. This was my experience in Hawaii in 2002, 2001. I went there when I retired. I just camped out. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't see anybody. I just stayed there most of the time, and chanted. At least 64 rounds a day for 6 months. And what happened? All the offenses to the holy name gradually disappeared. And of course, I had already been chanting for 30 years. But not with such intensity, not with such purity, not with such determination. That was what made it different. The fact that I said, okay, I've been doing this process now for 30 years, and nothing has worked to get me to the point where Krishna will appear to me and accept my service. I must be doing something wrong. And when I looked in the scriptures to try to understand what I had been doing wrong, the only thing I had not done is chant the holy name 24 hours a day. Kirtaniya sada harihi. That's what Lord Chaitanya says in his Shikshashtaka. Trinad api suni chena taror api sahishnuna manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So if we chant the holy name 24 hours a day, or as much as we can, as much as humanly possible, giving up everything else, sarva dharman parityaja, mam ekang sharanang vraja, just surrender unto Krishna, giving up all other religious activities, meaning Krishna's holy name, and just chant Krishna's holy name as much as possible, then aham tvam sarva papebhyo, I will take away all your sinful reactions. These offenses that we're making to the holy name, these are sinful reactions. We're not allowed to chant the holy name purely. Why? Because we have some unfinished karmic business from the past. That's the nature of offenses. So the only way to clear those offenses is to change our desire. And when we desire to follow Krishna's instruction, to surrender to him and just chant his holy name, guess what? Krishna responds by removing those offenses. You can't do it on the mental level. You can't do it on the intellectual level. You have to do it on the spiritual level by changing your desire, changing your consciousness. informing your intelligence by reading the scriptures and understanding the real situation that we're in. When you understand the horror of the situation of being stuck in the material world, then you have a very powerful motivation to change the object of your desire. I tried everything. Look, I went to India 5 times. I stayed there for more than 2 years each time. I lived in all the holy places. I traveled to different places of pilgrimage. I did all these different religious rituals and read all these different scriptures, and then worked very hard raising money for temples and doing puja, deity worship, and cooking, and served the devotees. And I did so many things, and nothing worked until I gave up everything and just chanted the holy name. That's what worked in my experience. So I'm telling you, don't waste your time. Just take full shelter of the holy name and you will get the benefit. Yes, you still should study the scriptures, you still should do all these other things. But keep in mind, the actual remedy is always in the holy name itself. Okay? Jai Babaji. Any other questions?
Babaji, does it always take a lifetime of experiences before one can attain strong realizations through chanting?
Who's asking?
Can a young person expect to get deep realizations of Krishna? Or is it Varnashram Dharma designed to build character through a person's life, and then at a senior age the person will be able to understand the absolute truth?
No. Think of the conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy in Madhya Leela, what is it, 17 or something like that. Lord Chaitanya says, what is the absolute truth, or what is the highest truth? And the first thing Ramananda says is Varnashram Dharma. Everybody should follow their assigned duties in Varnashram. And Lord Chaitanya's answer is, that's external. That's for people who aren't ready for a real spiritual life. It's simply to generate pious activities so that in the future they can come to the actual spiritual platform. But that will not give the highest realization, the highest result. So then he says, okay, well then renunciation of material activities is the highest truth. And Lord Chaitanya says, no, because you can engage your material condition or position in devotional service at any stage of life, and so simply renunciation is not the answer, because that would obviate the need for Dharma altogether. So then, finally, after several questions and answers, Ramananda says, unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Chaitanya accepted that. He said, yes, that is the means. That is the actual absolute truth. So, even though he gave so many answers, well, renunciation, philosophical speculation on the absolute truth, scriptural learning, and so on, performance of ritualistic activities, blah, 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 blah. Lord Chaitanya rejected all of that. So if someone is performing pious activities, this is very nice. They are a rare person, but they're not on the highest level of spiritual realization, not yet. Those activities are necessary, but they're only preliminary. Just like in the famous Adau Shraddha shloka. In the beginning, there has to be preliminary faith. That preliminary faith, what does that mean? That means that a person lives a pious existence. They live a good life in the conventional sense. They're honest, moral, hardworking, they take care of their responsibilities, and they perform pious activities according to Vedic instructions, leading to the next stage where they get to associate with devotees. Sadhu Sangha. By associating with devotees, they come to realize, oh, there is an absolute truth. It's not just be a good person. It's not just perform pious activities, but it's to attain actual transcendence. And how do I do that? Bhajana Kriya. So I have to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the disciplic succession from Krishna, take initiation, perform all these ritualistic ceremonies for purification according to the rules and regulations of Shastra, and then I get to the point of Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti means that all of the unwanted things, all of the offenses, all of the material desires, all of the sinful activities, all of those stuff is taken away. Nivritti.